Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome, especially to all the students from the Europe Hotel School. It's great to have you here. Today, we're going to push past the old school ways of thinking about hospitality and really dive into the future of luxury. My goal here is simple, to give you the strategic insights you'll need not just to succeed, but to lead in this industry as it changes. All right, so in this session, we're not just going to talk about theory. We're going to connect the dots between big ideas and what actually happens on the ground day to day in a real hotel. I want to give you knowledge that you can actually use, stuff that lines up with how the best hotels operate right now. Think of this as your personal toolkit packed with strategies you can pull out from the very first day of your career. Okay, here's a quick look at our game plan. First up, we'll tackle what it even means to compete today. Then we'll dig into why identity is your absolute foundation. From there, we'll see how you bring that identity to life with a story, how your pricing can actually be part of that story, and finally, how all these pieces fit together to reach the ultimate goal, becoming a true landmark. All right, let's jump right in. And I want to start with a huge shift in thinking, because honestly, the entire game has changed. For years, luxury hospitality was this kind of arms race, right? Who has the bigger spa, the fancier restaurant? Well, that's over. It's not about that anymore. The new battle is for something we call psychological real estate. It's about earning a permanent, unforgettable spot in your guest's mind. So think about it. The old way was all about being the best. Your competitor gets a Michelin star, so what do? You rush to get one too. It was a Me Too strategy, a race to the top of the same mountain. But the new way of thinking, it's completely different. The goal isn't to be the best anymore. The goal is to be the only choice for a certain kind of person because you've created a unique story that nobody else can even touch. So that's the big question, right? How do you actually become the only choice? Well, it all starts with this one thing, a rock-solid, crystal-clear identity. And let's be super clear, this is not some fluffy marketing exercise. This is the absolute bedrock, the non-negotiable foundation for your entire hotel. So when we say brand identity, we're not just talking about a cool logo or a catchy slogan. No, it's so much deeper than that. It's your internal compass. It's the why you exist. It's the reason you choose that type of wood for the lobby, the way you word an email to a guest, even the way your doorman smiles and says hello. It has to be the guiding light for every single decision, big and small. And here's the thing. This is what happens when you get it wrong. If your identity is all over the place, like you say you're a quiet romantic retreat, but you're also advertising loud corporate parties, you just create confusion. It's jarring for the guest. In the luxury world, people are paying for a clear promise. If you break that promise, if you fragment it, well, that can be absolutely fatal for your brand. Okay, so once you've nailed down that core identity, what's next? Well, the next big challenge is making it real, making it something your guests can actually feel and touch. And there are two main ways you bring it to life, through the story of your location and the absolute perfection of your service. You see, having a great address isn't enough anymore. It's not just about the postcode. It's about how you weave your location into the story you're telling. If you're a city hotel, you're not just in a neighborhood. You are the key to that neighborhood. You're a cultural curator. If you're a remote resort, you don't just happen to be isolated. That isolation is the entire point. It's the ultimate luxury. Your location has to become an active part of your brand's identity. But here's a word of warning. You can have the most amazing story about your location, and it can all be torn down in a single moment. Seriously, your single most powerful weapon, the thing that sets you apart, is your service. And the fastest way to ruin it? Inconsistency. So this brings us to what is, honestly, the million-dollar question for every single hotel leader out there. You might have the most brilliant brand strategy written down on paper, but how do you make sure it's delivered flawlessly by every single team member, in every single guest interaction, every single day? How do you do that? Well, the answer is one word: discipline. This isn't about some fancy marketing campaign that you run for a month. No, this is about a relentless day in, day out commitment from everyone. Your brand positioning isn't just a slogan. It's lived and breathed in the details of your daily operations, making sure every single human interaction reinforces exactly who you are. And all of this discipline, all of this focus, it leads us right to the heart of your story, your unique value proposition, or as we call it, the UVP. Think of it like the magnetic core of your hotel, the thing that pulls the exact right guests in your direction. Let's really break this down because it's so important. Any five-star hotel can sell luxury as a product, right? A comfy bed, nice toiletries, good food, that's the baseline. But a hotel with a powerful UVP, you're selling luxury as a story. It's that special, intangible thing that can't be measured. That's what makes a guest come back again and again, no matter what your room rate is. So how do you build one? Well, a strong UVP usually stands on one of four main pillars. You could lean into your heritage, let guests feel like they're a part of history. Or you could go for exclusivity, offering something that literally no one else can. Think a private tour of a vineyard with the owner. Or maybe your pillar is design, a style so unique it feels like stepping into another world. Or finally, it could be a super specialized experience, like a wellness retreat so amazing people fly in from all over the world just for that. All right, let's talk about money, because your price tag, in this new world of luxury, it's not just a number on a spreadsheet to manage revenue. It's actually one of your most powerful communication tools. Your price tells a story just as much as your lobby does. And look at the difference here. It couldn't be more clear. In the mid-market, what's the goal? Fill beds. You'll slash prices just to get heads in beds for the weekend. But in luxury, your main goal is completely different. It's to protect your brand equity. Sure, dropping your rates might fill a room tonight, but what message does that send? It can cheapen your brand and tick off the very guests who pay a premium because they believe in your value. And here's something you absolutely have to understand about the modern luxury traveler. They are value conscious, not price conscious. It's a huge difference. They will happily pay a premium, say 20% more than your competitor, if they feel they're getting something truly special, something deeply personal or even life-changing. But what they won't do is pay a high price for an experience that just feels average. That's the kiss of death. Okay, so this brings us to our final and most important point, where we pull everything we've talked about together. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to run a great hotel or to be profitable. The ultimate goal, the true north, is to become a landmark. And I really want you to think of this as the journey you'll be on in your careers. Look, anyone can provide a bed. That's just a commodity. A lot of hotels can offer nice amenities and become a luxury product. But it's that tiny elite group that manages to become a true landmark. And they do it by building an identity that is absolutely iconic and unshakable. And the payoff for all this hard work, it's huge. Because when you get this right, when you build that powerful identity and you deliver on it every single day, you create a kind of loyalty that is basically immune to whatever the market throws at you. Economic downturns, new competitors opening next door, it doesn't matter as much. You're building a business that's built to last. So I want to leave you with one final thought. As you go out and build your careers, please remember this. You're not just managing buildings. You're not just overseeing operations. You are the keepers of a story. Your guests are out there, and they're looking for a great story to step into and be a part of. So the biggest question you need to ask yourselves is this: what story are you going to tell?